Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
Between aging and busy lifestyles, many women struggle with maintaining their physical and mental wellness. At Aquavita Concierge Healthcare Services for Women, we can help you revitalize your health and reclaim your life. We start from within by balancing your hormones, allowing your body to achieve and maintain desired weight goals. We also specialize in peptide therapies, regenerative medicine, sexual health, and aesthetics in our state-of-the-art facilities. Feel better, look better, live better at Aquavita. Visit aquavitality.com and begin your journey today.
Hey guys, this is Matt with Deep Woods Paranormal. Welcome back to the Deep Woods Paranormal podcast. Today, before we start, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Ohio Paranormal. They are starting a new podcast, and so this is their intro.
Hello, kiddies. It is only me, your friendly gravekeeper. And welcome to the Ohio Hauntings and Legends podcast. We will be taking you to places you have never dreamt of. Hundreds, if not thousands, of haunted and abandoned locations. We will visit with the paranormal of your nightmares. Try to understand the unexplained. We will hear some old-time ghost stories that were told around the campfires years ago. Ohio has 88 counties within our state, and virtually each one of those counties has a story to tell. Ohio's history is blood-stained throughout its history. There are legends to tell, tales that have gripped towns and cities across Ohio for centuries, that have been told as true events. Many of the forthcoming episodes are real. Others may be hearsay or legend. It is your choice to believe or not. Dim the lights, grab the blanket, and get ready for fear to visit you.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll go over and check out their page and listen to their new podcast. Always nice to have people help you out and when you're getting started and listen to your podcast. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about several things. If you're watching from our YouTube page, yes, I am rocking a new Deep Woods Paranormal hat. Yes, we do have new Deep Woods Paranormal hats on our website, deepwoodsparanormal.com. And yes, when we get to 300 subscribers, which we're only, I believe we're 21 away. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go over there and like and subscribe. If you have friends, family, or anybody else that's interested in the paranormal, please refer them to our page. When we get to 300 subscribers, we're going to do giveaways for 3 lucky contestants. What we'll do is, if you leave a comment on our page, our YouTube page, what I'll do is I'll enter you into the drawing, and 3 people will be chosen to receive hats as part of that 300 subscriber giveaway. So we're excited about that. Once we get to 300, we're going to shoot for 500, and then of course 1,000. At 1,000, we're going to be doing some kind of crazy giveaway. We're not exactly sure what we're going to do yet, but we'll keep you posted. So let's just get to 300, and we appreciate your support. Again, please like and subscribe if you're on our YouTube page. If you're just listening to the podcast, thank you again. We appreciate your support as well. Today we're going to talk about a couple of different cryptids and then supposedly a ghost that haunts a bridge. So let's talk about Dogman. What is Dogman? Dogman, let's see, how do I describe it? A werewolf-like creature. said to be anywhere from about 4 feet high all the way up to supposedly 20 feet tall. And again, just take all this with a grain of salt, guys. This is, just my research and what I've heard, and I've also talked to several witnesses who have described them as well. So a dog man is supposedly they're kind of like a Bigfoot. Um, Supposedly there's all different varieties of dogmans. Um, some of them have been seen to be um, shorter, more like a Bigfoot type creature, but they have long fangs and they bark like a dog supposedly, and they also do howls. And then I've heard that they get all the way up to about 20 feet. Um, Supposedly there's a gentleman on YouTube, I forget his account, but he's very interesting to listen to. I do all kinds of research. I follow other people and I listen to their research as well. And then I kind of go through and create a hypothesis on what things are from there. Dogmen are said to be very dangerous. They hunt in packs. They're seen in Bigfoot territory. Uh, that I know of, I don't believe I've ever seen a dogman. I've seen plenty of Bigfoot, but I've never seen a dogman. Bear with me for just a second. Okay. So, like I said, they can be all different shapes and sizes, colors. Just imagine a giant coyote or giant wolf standing up on its back legs and walking around like a human. One of the best known dogman reports is actually out in Bray County. That's in Wisconsin. And people have seen a dog like creature, a humanoid dog like creature that essentially chases cars and will grab roadkill off the road right in front of them. I think there's at least 100 reported sightings of them off Bray Road. It's a very, very famous dogman area, but it's only on Bray Road for some reason. They don't see them too many other places. They're just concentrated in that area. And lots of witnesses to that. I also talked to a witness out in Wisconsin. She lives up in the hills, and she has 3 very large mountains around her. And she said that one mountain, because she goes out hiking every once in a while, but never after dark. She said that one mountain is Bigfoot territory, and the other mountain across the way is Dogman territory. And she said there's local guides that'll take you out there, but she said they don't really go out after dark. And if you're on the mountain after dark, you're in severe danger, is what she told me. Dogman and Bigfoot supposedly don't like each other. I hear that they fight a lot. I've actually talked to witnesses that have said they've seen them physically fighting each other in the forest. He was a hunter. He was out hunting and came across a dogman in a clearing eating a deer or something like that. It immediately got up and started running towards him, and a Bigfoot grabbed him or her, grabbed it, I should say, and started basically rolling around so that he could get away. Essentially, the Bigfoot was protecting the human, which makes sense to me. There's a lot of out here in Texas. There's the missing in Colorado too, and a few other places, but in Seattle, in the Washington State area, where there's the missing 411 encounters. For me, all those places are dogman territory. Dogmen are essentially seen anywhere there's forested area, heavy, thick forested area, not just like little patches, but major patches of forest. They're usually concentrated in where Bigfoot territory is. So like Northern California, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Ohio, and Wisconsin, those areas. Basically, anywhere there's major green belts is where they're at. But Dogman are said to be, like I said, they're very territorial. Usually they hunt in packs. The lady I talked to said that she was driving down the road. This is the same lady that called me from Wisconsin. And she said this thing came down off the hill on all fours, started chasing her, and basically grabbed onto her bumper with its teeth. She was going about 40 miles an hour. I don't know any dog that can do that. She said it was ginormous, and then started chasing her alongside the car after it gave up on her bumper, and then ran back off. Yeah, ran back off. I can't talk today. Into the forest. She said as a kid, her parents had a farm out in Wisconsin, and they one day she went out to the barn, and essentially she walked into where the cows and everything were that were being kept in there, and found a dog man sleeping towards the back of the barn in a pile of hay. And so the dog man, when it saw her, got up and ran out of the back of the barn or something and disappeared. But thank God I didn't attack her. So, anyways, yeah. So dogmen don't always attack. I've heard a lot of just different rumors regarding them, and a lot of the time, I think a lot of people say Bigfoot's attack, but I think it's more dogmen that attack people than Bigfoots. I've had several encounters with Bigfoots where they've thrown rocks at me, they've done tree knocks, they've done screams, shaked bushes, and all kinds of stuff. And it was just basically to scare me out of the area. Maybe they were hunting, maybe they just didn't want me in that area at that point in time. Who knows? But essentially, I've never been hurt. I've been within feet of a Bigfoot before a couple different times. In fact, I almost ran into one in the pitch black at Joe's camp. If you want to go watch that video on our YouTube channel, you want to see Bigfoot evidence, that's full of Bigfoot evidence. It's a little longer video, but I mean the things that we encountered over a year and a half. Also in Dogman territory, we never saw a Dogman. We only saw Bigfoots that we believe. But yeah, I mean, I think the missing 411. If I had to go back to that in Texas, I think I would imagine half of that's probably Dogman activity. A Dogman grabs some little kid who's fallen behind or gotten ahead, grabs the kid and eats the kid, and then they disappear. A lot of the time, kids disappear too. They're found later on, either up the road or whatever, and they describe a big, large, hairy man carrying them and putting them back on the trail, or protecting them, sheltering them, taking them to their camp, and then taking them back later out to where they were originally, picked up, essentially. But I think a lot of the missing reports of hikers and stuff like that probably more than likely are Dogman activity. I would imagine maybe it's Dogman grabbing people. I don't think it's the Bigfoots. So anyways, this is all just my opinion, just my theories. Don't know if they're right or wrong, but they're just theories at this point. So let's talk about the donkey lady of Elm Creek. So this is a famous Texas story. This happened down towards San Antonio. There's a Elm Creek that runs down there, and this family had a farm down there, and supposedly there's several different stories, so we don't know exactly which one's correct. If you're listening to this and you know the story, you'll go, no, that's not how it happened. But this is just what I read. I've gone through several different web pages. I've gone through some YouTube channels to see if I can figure out anything there, and then I've just done my own research. Um, so the donkey lady, supposedly what happened to her was the farmer, I don't, for whatever reason, murdered his kids, put her in the barn, and supposedly lit fire to the barn. Um, for some reason, who knows what happened. Um, she supposedly got severely burned, and her hands, I guess she had her hands fisted up or something, as she maybe was trying to punch her way out, and so her hands actually melted, kind of in a like a fist like pattern, um, and so they look more like hooves than hands anymore. And her face got disfigured as well, and badly burned. So people started calling her Donkey Lady. So years later, after she died, now supposedly she haunts the area near the bridge. From what I've understood, if you try and cross the bridge late at night, she'll attempt to scare you out of there, or basically maybe physically harm you or whatever. She doesn't like to have visitors at all in her area. So that's the Donkey Lady. Definitely want to go check that place out. I have a couple of friends that have been there, and they all say it's worth it. Um, it's down towards the San Antonio area if you're looking at going to that. Um, so we'll see. I think Amanda and I might go check that out at some point in time. So let's get on to El Chupacabra. That's another one that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Um, so El Chupacabra, better known, first started out in Puerto Rico. Um, Supposedly, some lady saw what she saw was an alien of some sort, with very long teeth, very long fangs, stood upright, kind of had a I don't know, almost like a goat like legs or something like that. She described it to be a very scary looking alien, pretty much. And she said it had run away or something like that with a chicken in its hands, and it was sucking the blood out of the chicken. So I've done a little bit of research into this. I've done my own due diligence. I've heard stories ranging from in Puerto Rico, um, maybe somebody playing a prank, maybe going and busting into people's chickens' coops at night and pulling the chickens out and drain the blood and then putting the chickens back. I've heard it was rabid dogs. I've heard it's aliens. I've heard it's um, other things. The government. That always seems to come up in these conversations, the poor government. But yeah, not sure. So there's also a lot of reports of El Chupacabra out here in Texas. But here's where it gets controversial. These creatures here are not alien like creatures. Um, they're basically more like a dog. Um, from what I understand, they're a cross between a coyote and a wolf, and they have really long canines. They're basically almost furless. They look like they have a really bad case of mange, and essentially they're kind of small. They're a little bit bigger than a fox, or maybe a little smaller than a coyote. And essentially, they go in and they eat the chickens. They don't eat the chickens. They basically go in and suck the blood out of chickens around here. There's multiple cases. I looked at it, and El Chupacabra is basically mentioned in most of the rural areas outside of where we live, 100 miles in almost every direction. But it's all to the south, towards Houston, towards San Antonio, or towards Louisiana, which is actually towards the east. But there's multiple different sightings. There was a sheriff that supposedly caught one on her car cam, dash cam, and she followed it for a little while, and then it disappeared into the brush. There's been a farmer who actually supposedly shot one, and they did DNA on it, and it came back a coyote / wolf hybrid mixture. And then there was also another sample found where a lady actually found one dead on her property. And that was also tested. That also came back partially wolf, partially coyote. So is this some kind of new animal? I don't know. Very few animals can live off of blood alone. Most animals will eat the entrails out of an animal first because that's where all of its most needed protein and everything are at, and nutrients and stuff. And then usually they'll eat the meat and the bones if they can afterwards. But for something to suck the blood out of an animal, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't give the animal, there's not very much that you can get out of blood. There's no protein, there's no nothing. So these animals must have some kind of specialized metabolism or a way to get something out of this. Because you look at, there are very few other animals out there that can do that. There's a vampire bat that drinks the blood of its hosts. And that's the only other animal I can think of. I think there was one other animal that could do that, but it's very rare for any animal to be able to live off of blood alone. You would think these animals would be eating the rest of the chickens and stuff like that. So another thought, how are they able to get into the chicken coops? Are they just eating, breaking the wires with their teeth? How are they doing it? Because a lot of the time, these places where these things are found, there's like a hole in like the chicken wire. And I don't know if you've ever seen chicken wire, but it's not easy to break. I would just imagine that these animals are probably going to get pretty bloody, either trying to chew through it or use their paws or whatever they're doing to get through that. It looks like they almost have some help. So anyways, these are just my thoughts. All right, guys, I'm going to end this here. I don't want to go too long. And we'll talk about some other cool crypto creatures next week. And until then, if you have not been to our YouTube channel, please go to YouTube and check out Deep Woods Paranormal. Again, if you like and subscribe, we appreciate it. Like I said, when we get to 300 subscribers, we'll be doing a giveaway, and we'll be going from there. All right, you guys have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you listening and or watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.